Hi, Rafael. Nice to see you. I have to say, I'm a little bit jealous. Even though you seem to be sitting in the jungle, I like that. You're obviously somewhere nice, obviously somewhere where you can put your watches into some use. And I'm stuck in the office. But like we agreed earlier, next time we're gonna do it the other way around. Nice to have you.
Hey
And
Andreas, thank you for having me. Yeah, indeed I'm in a bit of a tropical jungle setting right now. I'm in Costa Rica, enjoying some warm weather and nice waves at the moment. So yeah, I'm glad I can still get some work done because the internet is great everywhere here. So we can have a seamless uh, call here to talk about the new launch that is around the corner.
yes, indeed. So let's tell everybody what we're going to talk about. Um, I already gave a little bit of a tease today in the group. They know something's coming up. They can even imagine the color. And this is what I've been playing with all day. It's the Reef that we all know, of course, from Formex, a fantastic and very unique watch, which is dive capable to 300 meters. One of my absolute favorites, I have to say, because it combines the sporty elements to the dressy elements. But we're going to get into the details of that later on. We're going to discuss a version of the Reef that Rafael kindly agreed to make for our group. And this is our last celebratory note, let's call it, for our 10-year anniversary. It's the Reef that will be produced in 33 serial numbers, unique serial numbers. I actually I'm the lucky one to have the very first one that arrived to me yesterday afternoon. And there will be 32 more available for anybody that would like to add one of these in their collection. At this point, I think I'm gonna pass it on to Rafael to tell us the basic specs of the watch, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so first of all, let me congratulate you on the 10-year anniversary of this pretty amazing group that you put together. Yeah, you managed to, I don't know how many members today, but it's somewhere.
65,000, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And I have to say it's one of the most engaged groups that I follow on Facebook. So yeah, props to you guys for keeping it going for 10 years and organizing the events that you guys do, which is actually where we first met. We met online and then in person at the very nice gathering of the World Time UK. That was about 2 or 3 years ago, I think. Right?
Actually, I think we met once before that.
Oh, in New
Wasn't
York.
it in New
Yeah,
York?
during wind up. Yeah, yeah. You threw
Yeah,
a
yeah,
drink
yeah.
in the bar. That was really nice. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats to the group. Congrats to the members who have been there from day one or the new ones
Thank
that have
you.
joined. It's really nice to have such a community of watch lovers, watch nerds, and watch crazy heads going on
Yeah.
Facebook. Yeah, so let me jump into the specs about the watch. It's based on our model, the Reef, which we launched pretty much exactly a year ago, the first version, and that we reissued Make 2 this year in about August with a nifty little new feature that is the toolless bezel exchange that I figure you've been playing around with all morning today.
I did.
Well, okay.
I did.
So yeah, it gives you the opportunity because when you go to our website, you can see the configurator where you can choose your dial color, you can choose the straps, and you can choose the ceramic or steel bezels. And when we launched it, it was on pre-order, and during about the 3 months it was on pre-order, we got hundreds of emails of people who have had already ordered it and who changed their mind about the bezel because they kept playing around with the configurator. And so I said, instead of them having to buy a second watch, or instead of them having to, you know, have sleepless nights over which bezel they should choose, why don't we figure out a way to make it interchangeable, um, you know, in line with our philosophy of not having to use tools like we do with the straps, that we're gonna talk about later a bit, about the strap exchange system that we've implemented on the Reef as well. So yeah, and people really ran our door in, because of this system, I guess. And we also launched a new color, the lacquer polished white as well. For those who don't know the Reef, it runs with a SW2 300 Salida movement, chronometer certified. All of them are cost certified and come with the little certificate, which not only, you know, gives you a certificate, but we really order those movements because you know, it guarantees us that we get the best version of the movement by Salida, because you know they use some of the components that are crucial to a nice rate, chronometer rate, are different from the standard movements. So it really gives us the security of having the top of the line movements for our customers. It's not so much about, you know, the 2 weeks of testing or the certificate you get, but from the get-go you get a better or nicer running movements. The other ones get weeded out and don't even get to us. So to our customers, it just guarantees a better rate all in all. And the certificate for me, nice to have. But yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And
Movement-wise, it gives you an edge with the
yes,
chronometer. Absolutely.
exactly,
And
exactly.
yeah, you mentioned the bezels. I did spend some time with them today, and thank you. You sent me all the colors here today. It was like Christmas for me. Look at that. I got all the colors, and when I received the watch and I wanted to try it, I kept looking around, thinking, "Oh, maybe I have to align it somewhere. Otherwise, how can I put it out?" And no, you don't have to align anything, you know. And surprise, surprise, you don't have to align anything when you put it back on either. So
Yes,
how
exactly.
beautiful is that? You just, you know, put your finger at the 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever, wherever you want, pop it out, and then put it back in whenever you want. Fantastic,
Exactly. So
fantastic job.
the alignments, or another thing about the bezel that is interesting to know is, you know, the ceramic ones. We didn't want to create a bezel that is deep engraved and then filled with SLN. Obviously, legibility wise, this would have been the more practical choice. But then on the other hand, we said, even though it's a dive watch, most customers will wear it, you know, 99.99% of the time out of the water, probably, you know, desk diving rather than reef diving. And
Yeah,
this was a design over practicality choice. Sometimes you have to make those. And actually, to get the numbers out and the background down, this we start from a blank ring, and then we laser engrave it down 60 full minutes for each one of them. So the laser takes 60 minutes to sink the background down, and then the last passes are the finishing passes, which give it a sandblasted appearance, while the numbers that are still sticking out are mirror polished, which in turn creates the contrast and the legibility of the bezel. And
and,
then the alignment happens when we actually assemble them. So we have indexing holes in the ceramic bezel under the loom dot, and inside of the bezel that receives the bezel insert. And we use a special process to glue it um, that is a specific watchmaking gluing process with Azulab, a special glue, so it will never come off. And it's also protected from shocks inside while being very scratch resistant. So it's an interesting bezel, and especially the possibility to play around with different styles and actually completely change the look of the watch. You know, when you go from a black ceramic bezel to the steel version, your watch changes completely. If you
yeah,
combine that with the strap change, you put some new shoes on it.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's really cool to play around with.
I can attest to that because today, when I went from the bracelet to the strap, I had I had the you know, the aluminum bezel on the with the bracelet, and at one point I changed to your rubber strap, and I thought to myself, well, the black bezel will look better, and it did.
It does.
And I wanted to point out right here that there are 4 types of bezels, right?
Yeah.
There is the stainless steel one that you see right here, and the other 3, they are the composite that you mentioned earlier, the blue, green, the ceramic oxide. Yeah, fantastic. It's zirconium, I think, right?
Zirconium oxide, ZO2.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah, and some other specs about the watch. I'm actually glad that you mentioned the elegance component. So actually, when we set to design the Reef with the team, I really wanted to create something that has a certain tool look to it. So you know, the knurls on the bezel side are pretty rough. They're not very fine. But then again, you find the sleekness in terms of design, because it's a very thin watch. It's 300-meter waterproof, but it's only 11.4 millimeters high total, which makes it very slim for a tool watch. And for me, slimness always adds a component of elegance to the watch. And last but not least, also leads to the watch being more comfortable on the wrist. It can disappear under the cuff. You can wear it, you know, in an elegant setting, and then you have the polished bevels that interplay with the brushed finish all over the case. So this really catches the light, which continues on the metal bracelet. And yeah, these are the elegant traits that we try to add in, and I'm glad that people recognize it as such.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I see exactly what you mean, because when you put on a diving watch, a 300-meter diving watch, you expect you know, a heavy and tall watch, and then you put the Reef on, and you're like, whoa, look at that. I mean, you know, it slides under my cuff and everything. And also, you know, the other thing, for the size of it, it's pretty light. I think it's 90 grams, the head only. That's quite a light watch for a, which is another great plus for me, I have to say.
It's pretty light, and in terms of comfort, we always put a lot of emphasis on our watches being comfortable, because you know, you wear them all day and on a very active part of your body, so you shouldn't, you know, feel it all day. You shouldn't, you know, have anything that is nagging you at your wrist. So we always try also to keep the lock to lock distance at a minimum, which sometimes also is quite hard to do in terms of design. Design versus functionality compromises. So yeah, it's always an interesting process between the, you know, the engineering and the designing, where you sometimes have to have to give in to the practicality, or you want to push something through because you want the aesthetics of it. So it's a very interesting interplay of design and engineering when developing a new model.
Yeah, I think the case on the Reef is fantastic design. Let me take a little moment and tell everybody here that, as usual, on the back of the watch, on the case back, the watches will be engraved with the serial number. So mine, for example, and I'll share some. I took some nice macro shots earlier. I'll share them on the group later. So, for example, mine has a 01/33, meaning it's number 1 of 33. And also it has the DW 2021, indicating that it was made for DW in 2021. And again, I'll share some of those macro shots later on in the group. Let's go to that beautiful dial that, you know, I remember when you showed it to me, and I said to you, wait a minute, that looks kind of flat. And I wish I could have taken that back and not said it back then, because I didn't know what I was looking at. Tell us about the laqué poli dial and the indexes and anything else that comes with the dial, like the loom, etc.
Yeah, so as always, we created the dial in our family dial manufacturer in the Jura Mountains in Courtedou. almost at the border of France, and it's very enjoyable for me to develop, design, and really prototype the dials, because I can just hop in my car and in 40 minutes I'm at the dial manufacturer and we can play around, try different colors, try different versions of the dial. And for this one, we really wanted to make something that is fit for the divers watch group, something that pops out. I think a lot of people like orange dials for divers, and we decided to go, since it's we don't have the dégradé, which means how do you say in English, when it gets darker towards the edges.
Yeah.
We don't have that on this watch, so we opted for a process that is called laqué poli in French, lacquer polish, which you create the first you have a galvanic treatment. You put a rhodium treatment on the brass base plate, and then you then they put on the first color of the first layer of varnish of lacquer that gives it the color, and then they go up and up with the layers of clear lacquer as well, to create something that is much thicker than the original plate needs to be. And then we polish it down, which really gives it that very glossy and deep look. So it really creates, even though it's a single color and doesn't have any special finishing on it, it creates a really deep looking dial, which is probably why you said you wish you could have taken it back.
Yeah.
It's always hard to show that on a picture when you don't move it around. But when you have it on the wrist, it's really something to behold at.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. And I also, as I mentioned to you during another call, I loved the way you did the hands and the indexes with that gunmetal, let's call it finish. It's like a matte silver finish, and then I believe it's laser cut on the to create the bevels on the sides.
No, those are it's a process called faceting. It's actually done in CNC machines with brushes. It's a very special process that is only used for indices and hands. Also a very
Fantastic.
interesting process. And then they call it diamond cutting because it actually comes out polished of the machine. They don't have to repolish it behind.
Fantastic, yeah. And as I told you earlier, I also like how you gave the indexes a little bit more height towards the back on the outer side of the indexes, so they look like they are all pointing towards the center of the dial. It gives them a spectacular effect, if I may say so.
Thank you. Yeah, we don't have a chapter ring on this watch, so I wanted the indices to be reminiscent of a chapter ring, which is why in the back they're almost exactly 1 millimeter high, and then they dive down towards the center and create this chapter ring look. And they're very deeply filled with lume, so it really creates a long-lasting glow, blue glow of superluminova when you actually need it in the dark. If some people say the minute hand is a bit short, that's because it actually can't go further back because of the steepness of the indices in the back. So if somebody has that comment, we had it a couple of times. We can't make it longer because it would touch the indices. And since we always try to for me, it's paramount when we do the engineering to create a watch that is as flat as possible. The interplay inside between the hands, the indices, the logo, the little logo plate that sticks out is always very, very tight. So yeah, creates
I
a bit
understand
of
that. I understand.
a hard time when assembling the watch because you don't have a lot of breathing room. But this is really something I want to. We take pride in building slim and comfortable watches.
Well, the minute you described how the hand is a little bit shorter because of the extra height of the index, it made complete sense to me. So there it is. One thing I didn't ask you is about the crystal. Can
Mhm.
you describe to me what it is? Is it flat? Is it boxed? Is it domed? Is it?
It's a flat crystal, 2.5 millimeters thick to get the 300 meter rating. And we use 5 layers of anti-reflective coating only on the inside, because you know, you do get a bit better anti-reflective properties if you put a layer outside or a couple of layers. But for me, that's a trade-off, because we use a sapphire crystal for its properties, its hardness and scratch resistance. And as soon as you put a treatment or a coating on the outside, that treatment gets scratched. And those scratches you see, after a while, you could polish it out and then you don't have a treatment anymore. But this is why we opt to only put a treatment inside, a really good one. But then your crystal is really, really gonna last forever.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So let's move on to our something we all like other than watches, which is straps. The Reef, like you mentioned earlier, will be on your website, and people will be able to choose not only their choice of bezel, but they will be able to choose between a rubber strap, which is your signature black strap with the beautiful system that you have with the carbon deployment. This is really, really, really nice work, guys. If you haven't seen this, it's a fantastic buckle, and you can adjust it with just while you have it on your wrist. You really, really want to see this nice strap, and of course the bracelet, which I now have on the watch, and it has an adjusting buckle, an adjuster right in the buckle right here. All you have to do is put your thumb in there and push it, and that's it. It goes in and out really just by doing that. If you want to take it out, again, you just, I'm sorry that I cannot do it upside down, but you put your thumbnail right in there, you push it in a little bit, and out it goes, and you can put any other strap you want. Another nice thing that I asked Rafael earlier, you can use any type of strap you want on this. It doesn't mean that because it has its own little microcosmos of a system in there to attach the Formex bracelet or straps, it can take any type of straps. And like always, I'll include one of my own in there. A little surprise for everybody. It's not one type of straps. I took many types of straps, different colors. So we'll throw one in there for you as a little Christmas gift. If you, I know this is one very big thing of your company. You know, you make components for many other luxury brands, and you do a fantastic work on it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, let me touch a little bit on the quick release, the strap exchange system. So this is a development of my dad's company. He's actually the inventor, together with his engineering team. It's a system that, as you mentioned, doesn't require anything on the case sides to be different. Just two holes for the spring bars are enough for the system, and you can adapt it to any watch by just modifying the bracelet or the end link of the bracelet. And it's a very flat system. We can go down to 1.5 millimeter thickness of a strap if we want to include it in a leather bracelet or something like that. So yeah, you just slide forward the pusher or the slider, and it retracts the two pins, which usually are on a spring bar. And what we did here, because we actually want to encourage people to use their own straps, and we like the variety that gives you when you put on a new set of shoes on your watch, but we obviously can't provide all the different colors and all the different materials that you might have laying around or you might love at home. So what we did there is we actually created what we call a garage in the case. Maybe I can show it on mine.
Oh wow!
We just threw down another iguana from the tree that just fell down from the tree.
Did you give him a watch?
All right, floor is yours, Ralph.
If he attacks you,
Yeah, sorry, there was a small interruption. I think we just talked about how the straps, how aftermarket straps can be accepted and really well integrated in the Reef case. So about the micro adjustment that you mentioned, Andreas, you know, we had one on the metal bracelet, and you know we needed one for the rubber strap as well. So we had to invent kind of a new system that is on a deployment buckle, and we did that last year, I think. So the body of the buckle is carbon fiber composite that we also developed with Dexel, and it really works on the fly. You don't have to take off the watch or even open it, and it gives you 7 millimeters of micro adjustment, which is exactly the distance between two strap holes. And on the metal bracelet, we actually have 10 millimeters, so a full centimeter of that corresponds to about 2 links. And obviously, you also get the extra links. So when you order the watch, please give us your. We're asking for your wrist circumference, and we actually adapt it to your wrists. But we also send the extra links and a really high quality screwdriver, so you can make adjustments. The links are always screwed, so you can adjust it to your taste, or maybe add a link after the holiday season if necessary. So yeah.
Your friend is right behind you on your
Oh, the
left.
Iguana. Yeah, this is our house
Yeah,
Iguana.
there he
Actually,
is.
when the connection went down, you just missed a fight scene. He was fighting with another iguana, and he just threw it down the tree. His name is Nestor,
Nestor.
our
That's a
little
nice name.
dinosaur.
Cute little guy.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
so
So go ahead.
no, I wanted to say that actually as you mentioned, the limited edition is numbered, so 01 out of 33. This is our first collaboration, limited edition with a group, and what better group than you guys to launch
Thank
that
you.
with. And we really wanted to keep it limited. Yeah, they're all numbered from 1 to 33. We tried to do a very limited edition, for you to really have something special when you get them. You can add to the order notes a selection of 3 numbers that you would like, and we'll try to allocate those on a first come first based basis.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And here's a trick question now. When are these going to be ready to ship?
Yeah, they're ready to ship almost immediately, so you're gonna get them before Christmas, and you can put them under your tree.
Fantastic. That's the best news. Because, everybody now is angry at me that I have one and they don't have one. So
Need to catch up. Yeah.
that's good news.
So yeah, we didn't put them up at a premium, even though it's a very limited edition, and even though the dial is quite more expensive than the regular Reef dials to
Thank
make.
you.
But we really wanted to kind of give that as an opportunity and gift to the group, because we also received so much back from your community.
Fantastic. May I just say once again how thankful we are. The package that one will receive with this watch is just amazing. The Reef punches well above its weight. You're going to receive a chronometer rated, limited edition, serialized watch with a very special dial. I can't stress that enough. It's a very special dial. It's a chronometer rated diver, 300 meters, all those goodies on the strap and bracelet and bezel coming off, etc. You'll for once get to impress your wife, showing her how the bezel comes off and on. So thank you very much for allowing us to be part of this beautiful model. And may I just invite the members of the group, if you want to ask anything about what we discussed with Rafael or anything we didn't discuss with Rafael, just comment below, and me or Rafael will be more than happy to answer.
Yes. So this video is going to be pinned to the group. So if you comment we'll check in a couple of times a day and try to answer all of your questions.
Fantastic. Thank you for taking the time while on vacation.
Yeah.
Enjoy your
Thank you for
time.
having me. Thank you very much.
It was lovely to speak to you, Rafael. Take care.
Yeah, and nice holiday season to everyone.
Fantastic.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.